What is academic integrity? Basically, it's having a sense of responsibility and honesty in your scholarship. The idea of what a student owns, what a writer owns, and giving credit to other people. In the context of the ALI here, we think about academic integrity as one, being important to your experience here at USC. We also talk about differences in culture and society, different traditions. Many countries come from a more collective tradition in which people work more together. America has a strong individualistic tradition, and this is reflected in our Constitution with private property and even the concept of private ownership of ideas. The clause in the Constitution, what we call the copyright clause or sometimes the patent clause, it says that artists and writers have exclusive rights for limited times to their work. So this idea that you own ideas or that you own your own words is really in our Constitution. This idea here is very embedded in our culture, and it's one of the reasons that we have this kind of highly individualistic society. There's a lot of good with this. There's some drawbacks to it. It does limit our idea of collective art and collective ideas, which produce great art and great ideas. But this is really what is here in our Constitution is the way Americans think about it. And so if you look at the American academic system, it's deeply rooted in this. Knowing that will really help people kind of understand what environment they're in here at an American university and here at USC. The pendulum swing. The idea of a pendulum, it moves all the way to one side, then it swings back to the other. Right now, some of the strictest laws and strictest concepts are being applied to academic integrity. And why is this? My pet theory, which I've talked with a few different people about, is that digital technology has made it so easy to copy and take other people's work that people are becoming much stricter about their proprietary rights over something. If I wanted to copy a paper 20 or 30 years ago, I had to do a fair amount of work. I had to go to the library, find the paper, look at it, retype it up. Now it's really point and click. I can grab whatever as long as I'm able to get it on my computer. And there are lines being drawn that are debatable now. But the fact is, this is the academic environment we are in now, and so having a better idea about the fact that we're being strict now is important. So one of the examples I like to talk about the stricter atmosphere towards intellectual property, plagiarism, private ownership of ideas, is a recent court case. And this was between a singer, Robin Thicke, and the family of a famous soul singer, Marvin Gaye. Now, what had happened is that Robin Thicke listened to a song of Marvin Gaye's he liked, and he said, I'd like to do a song that's similar to this, that has this feel, this vibe. He got some people together, Farrell, who was another famous singer, and they recorded a song kind of with this feeling. The song was called Blurred Lines. Marvin Gaye's family sued Robin Thicke about this. Now, this is kind of unprecedented. There have been many successful lawsuits against, most famously, George Harrison of the Beatles for stealing things. These were stealing lyrics, they were stealing melodies, they were stealing chord changes, things that were very distinctive about a song. Robin Thicke was sued for stealing the vibe of the song, the beat of the song. It set a new precedent. The case was won for some reasons that might not have had that much to do with the music, people respecting Marvin Gaye more than they respected Robin Thicke. But what happened is now the idea is somebody can own a feeling, can own a vibe, which is kind of frightening in an artistic sense. But this is a good example, I think, of this idea of people saying, this is mine. I did this first, and now I own this. So, what is plagiarism? Most people think of plagiarism as using other people's words. And it's easy to do these days. You point and click with your mouse and you grab some other words there. It's also using other people's ideas without attribution. And that can be a little trickier. How do we attribute other people's ideas? When do we attribute other people's ideas? We certainly don't have to cite Paris is in France or Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. And so we talk a lot about when an idea really belongs to somebody who developed an idea. A lot of people, when they write, they think, okay, I'll use these other words, I'll put all my sources together, and then I'll rewrite it, and I'll make it so it's all my words. This is difficult. The way you want to make sure you write an academically honest paper, a non-plagiarized paper, is to take notes and write your own ideas. Write it as your own writing first. Don't think you're going to cut and paste a paper together and then rewrite it into your own language. It takes longer, and the chances are you won't be able to rewrite it into your own language. It's much more difficult. What is Turnitin? Most American students are familiar with Turnitin these days. Some people coming here as foreign students aren't. Turnitin is simply a computer program. It detects plagiarism very well. As you can see in some of these slides, there are different levels of plagiarism. Sometimes you might be taking a few parts of a sentence and it might set off Turnitin's algorithms. Other times you can honestly see where somebody has stitched together a paper, kind of like Frankenstein. And these are the things that we talk about and we want to show students, because we realize that in the ALI often it's the first time students have had an experience of writing a paper at a foreign university. And once they understand this, they have a better idea about what they might be facing in turning in a paper through Turnitin. What is unauthorized collaboration? Now, everybody works together. Do you work together and tell your professor? This is one of the differences that's often encountered by foreign students between their experience in learning in their own country and their experience learning in here. What constitutes unauthorized collaboration? If you get notes from a person who's taken the class before, is that unauthorized collaboration? This might be a gray area. If you get photos of tests and photos of old assignments, this is less of a gray area. This is unauthorized collaboration. Some of us think there should be more collaboration allowed, but these are the rules here, and this is the academic culture in America. Melania Trump famously gave a speech. She was accused of plagiarizing her speech from Michelle Obama. Now, Melania Trump didn't write the speech. She mentioned to her speechwriters that she liked previous First Lady Michelle Obama's thoughts and speech and wanted something similar. Now, her speechwriters went out and basically cut, pasted, cribbed Michelle Obama's speech and gave it to Melania Trump. First Lady Trump gave the speech and was accused of plagiarism. Now, she didn't plagiarize herself, but she was the one who ended up being seen as using somebody else's words. So what we want to think about is, in most cases, you're working with other people. When you're doing research, when you're at a company, when you're working on a project, be sure you talk with other people. Be sure you're clear about the boundaries and who's doing what, because really your name is on it too. What is self-plagiarism? It means turning in the same paper or turning in the same work in two different places. You think about if somebody sold a book. If they sell a book to a publisher, they've been paid for that book. They can't turn around and sell the book to another publisher and be paid again. We look at this idea of your course being a contract, and you are contracted to do the work for this course, and you get the credit for the course. If you wrote a paper for your course last term, and you want to continue work on this paper, can you turn in a different version of the paper for your course this term? Yes, maybe, but you have to clear it with your professor first. You've already turned in that paper. You cannot go ahead and turn in a different version without talking about it. In some cases, professors are happy, especially in graduate programs, to have people build on their work throughout the program. In other cases, each course needs completely new work done for it. So what are the consequences of academic dishonesty? The most common image people have is you get an F on the test or you fail a paper. You might, in fact, fail the whole class. You might not be able to drop the class. That will be notated on your transcript that you failed it. People can be expelled from the university for serious cases of academic dishonesty. You can have your degree revoked. One of the famous cases here at USC, the heiress of the Walmart fortune had her degree revoked. She was found to have paid her roommate or friend. She paid this woman to write all of her papers over the course of 4 years. USC found out about it. They took her degree back. She's no longer has a degree from USC. The rules at universities in the US concerning academic integrity and the philosophy surrounding intellectual property are not always easy for foreign students to quickly grasp. Sure, everyone knows you don't cheat on a test, but ideas about the ownership of words or ideas about what constitutes unauthorized collaboration may not be so clear-cut. However, understanding these rules really does help you to navigate your academic assignments. If you have a question about something, ask someone. Showing that you take these ideas seriously can only help you build better relationships with your colleagues and professors here at USC.